First off, I want to say thank you to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. If it wasn't for him, this would not be possible. Low Nose Boxing. Hit the like button, share the video, leave a comment, subscribe. First off, I hope everybody's having a blessed day today, this morning. And I want to talk about the upcoming fight between Teofimo Lopez and Arnold Barboza Jr. The Arnold Barboza Jr. wake up the sleeping giant. But Teofimo Lopez is a fighter that we already know has a stigma attached to him. The stigma is he's a fighter that fights to the level of his competition. But Teofimo Lopez has been in there with guys like Vasyl Lomachenko, Josh Taylor, Richard Comey. Teofimo Lopez has performed like an A-level fighter, dominating these fighters, right? But when he had fights against guys like Nakatani, guys like Jermaine Ortiz, Sandor Martin, Steve Claggett, he failed to perform to the best of his ability. Teofimo Lopez has been very inconsistent. However, there is a flip side to it. When Teofimo Lopez is motivated, he performs to the highest level. And right now, even though Arnold Barboza, in terms of accolades, is not on the same level of a Josh Taylor, right? Even though Arnold Barboza, in terms of accolades and skills, is not on the same level as a Vasyl Lomachenko. In terms of accolades, he's not on the same level as a Richard Comey. However, Arnold Barboza is an undefeated fighter. He's in the prime of his career. He has momentum going for him right now, but yet he has something else that should give Teofimo Lopez the motivation to perform to the best of his ability. Leading up to this fight, Arnold Barboza has been calling out Teofimo Lopez for like 3 years now, and he's been trying to punk Teofimo Lopez on more than one occasion, right? And Teofimo Lopez right now has a little stigma attached to him. You got people throughout the boxing industry, the boxing world, especially the fighters, are questioning Teofimo Lopez's toughness outside the ring. He's being labeled sort of like a punk, right? And it doesn't make sense to me, because anybody who has the heart to step inside the ring and put it all on the line, you can't be soft. You can't be a punk. So Teofimo Lopez is not a punk at all. But, you know, recently Terrence Crawford approached Teofimo Lopez regarding to some things that Teo said. Crawford put his arms around him, and people in the media took it like he was being chumped. Arnold Barboza approached Teofimo Lopez a couple of times, and people took it like Teofimo Lopez was getting chumped. And then there's the story about Keyshawn Davis allegedly putting hands on Teofimo Lopez's dad. So Teofimo Lopez right now, throughout the boxing world, is sort of like having a reputation of being soft. And he's not soft, right? But that's motivation. And Teofimo Lopez had enough. During that face-off, that press conference, Teofimo Lopez was on the receiving end of Arnold Barboza trying to chump him out. Teofimo Lopez put hands on Arnold Barboza. He slapped flames out of Arnold Barboza's mouth. So Teofimo Lopez going into this fight, not only is he being doubted by the media, because most of the media, if you ask them which fighter on this card has the highest chance of suffering an upset loss, most of them would say Teofimo Lopez. Even though Teofimo Lopez is the slight favorite and will be the slight favorite, if I'm not correct, going into this fight, make no mistake about it, he is the one that people are questioning. He is the fighter out of him, Ryan Garcia, and Devin Haney, that people are predicting that he might lose this fight, right? So Teo has a lot of motivation. He got sort of the odds against him in a way. People are picking him to lose. Out of all three of those guys, they say that he has the highest chance of losing. He's also performing on the same stage with two of the so-called 4-on-4 four kings of boxing. And I say so-called because there is no four kings of boxing. The original four kings of boxing already passed. This is a new era. Either way, two of his contemporaries are fighting on the same card. So that's motivation for Teofimo Lopez to perform. Not only that, like I said before, he's fighting a fighter who has been some sort of a nemesis, a thorn on his side, right? He's also once again fighting off the reputation that people are saying that he's soft, even though he proved that he's not soft. But once again, that's more added motivation for Teofimo Lopez. And to top it off, Teofimo Lopez is a fighter where fellow New Yorkers like Richardson Hitchens has been questioning if he's a real New York fighter, right? Teofimo Lopez has the opportunity to show that he is, because he's performing in probably the biggest crowd that he might ever perform in front of. He's going to be fighting in New York City in Times Square. That thing could fill up probably 500,000 people or close to it. So that's the type of crowd that he's going to perform in front of. And Teofimo Lopez performs at his best under the bright lights when the challenge is a serious challenge. If Teofimo Lopez goes in there and destroys Arnold Barboza, beats him convincingly, he will outshine Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. And Teofimo Lopez will have the opportunity to show that he is the best fighter in New York City, out of New York City in today's generation. So Teofimo Lopez, all he has to do now is lock in, get in training camp. We already know that he's not going to be training with Eddie Venoso for this camp. Camp needs to start. The promotions already started. That's it. No more promotions. It's time to lock in, get some good solid sparring, because he did not get good sparring for his last 2 camps. In fact, his last 3 camps, he did not get good sparring. So Teofimo Lopez has his back to the wall right now. If Teofimo Lopez fails to perform or loses this fight, God forbid, he probably will not be looked at as an elite pound-for-pound fighter again. It's bad enough that most pound-for-pound lists don't even have him on the list, despite his accolades, right? Teofimo Lopez has a lot riding on this fight. And one thing we know about Teofimo Lopez, he comes through in the clutch. And Teofimo Lopez is overdue for a breakout performance. With that being said, hit the like button, share the video, leave a comment, subscribe. Low Nose Boxing, because Low Nose Boxing, I'm out.